If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe now. Click the bell icon next to it and select All to ensure you don't miss any of my latest videos. Do you know that sometimes when you watch some researchers, you get very excited because they spend their whole lives trying to find answers to one or two questions? That is, they are doing research about them, they are looking for answers to them, but their whole life is ending, but they don't find answers to those questions. So today in this video, let's learn about 5 mysterious historical questions that scientists or historians still have no answers. So why not let's get into the video. Number 1, what happened to Abigail? Basically, Salem Vitrials is a very important chapter in the history of colonial America, and even now this Salem Vitrials remains a mystery, especially when it comes to Abigail Williams. In fact, in 1689, a man named Samuel Parris was appointed as the new minister in Salem, Massachusetts. He came to the area with 2 people. One was his daughter Betty and the other was his daughter's cousin Abigail. They all lived there. Life was normal. But 3 years after they arrived in 1692, all the girls in the area started acting strangely and had crazy dreams, and their speech was completely different. So the local town doctor told him that they were all possessed by a demon. However, there was a slave in the Samuel Parris family. That slave's name was Tituba. This woman named Tituba changed all the girls like this. She also changed all of them. They said that she was possessed by a demon, and then they arrested her. She confessed that it was true, but she managed to escape from there. How did she escape? She must have had contact with demons. After escaping from there, she went on to infect 2 other women with the demon, and they also started behaving like crazy people, and from them it spread to others. As the days passed, the number of girls with crazy symptoms increased. So, realizing that there was nothing more we could do about witchcraft, many people started leaving the area. At the same time, Samuel Parris also lost his job. What he did was leave the area with his daughter. He wanted to lead a normal life, but Abigail Williams stayed here. Anyway, she wanted to bring all the girls of the village to a normal stage. She also saved about 57 girls from that witchcraft wife. The problem is that she was possessed by a demon in June 1692, and then she disappeared immediately. No one knows what happened to Abigail after that. No one has ever heard of her again. Even in historical records, she is mentioned nowhere. Some experts say that she actually did not have such a powerful position in society because Samuel Parris had everything and his daughter Betty had everything. Abigail had no real name. So she was there to grab everyone's attention and influence them. Some people point out that she did not do anything. Others say that it could be Abigail or the other affected girls. The reason why they all behaved like that is because they all had ergotism. When does this ergotism come? There are some fungus-infected rice and it comes from eating them. So that's how it happens. They believe that it is nothing but a ghost, but no one knows what happened to her, how she died, what happened to her. She has completely disappeared from historical records, so even now some people are trying to find out about her, but it is of no use. The number 2. Who is buried? There is a very large number of ancient tombs in Japan. They are called Kofuns. These tombs were built in Japan between the 3rd century and the 7th century. Basically, they are not tall like pyramids, but they have a strange design and are very different in size and have a lot of width and length on the ground. Basically, if they are only a few dozen feet long, but they are thousands of feet long, so all of that plays a very important factor. In Japanese culture, the largest Kofun in Japan is the Daisen Kofun, which is located in the Sakai area of Osaka. It is also in the keyhole design like the others. It is approximately 1,500 feet long and 1,000 feet wide, which is 457 m long and 305 m wide. If such a large Kofun was built, we can understand that it must have been a very important person. But the problem is that we do not know who the person is in it. Basically, many people think that it is the tomb of the 16th emperor who ruled Japan in the 4th century. But that is just a belief academically or scientifically, but at the moment, it has not been proven. Actually, that tomb, there are very strict regulations that prevent anyone from entering the tomb. That is, there is an imperial household agency there, which is basically responsible for all matters related to the imperial family. In the 1970s, it was completely restricted by not allowing anyone to enter the tomb, even for archaeological research. But there has been some progress since about 5 or 6 years ago. In 2018, archaeologists were given permission to excavate the mods in that area. That is, if any ancient artifacts are discovered in that area, the government will hand them over. And then in 2020, discussions have started that permissions will be needed to excavate the entire tomb. But the permissions related to them have not been received yet, but it seems that they may come in the future. So when the permissions are received, then we get clarity on what's inside and who was buried there. So there's a chance that the answer will be found to the question that has been a mystery for hundreds of years. Number 3. Who burned down the house? Basically, a puzzling trend was created in Neolithic Europe. At one time, people would deliberately set fire to their houses. This was called the burnt house horizon. Actually, this was mostly seen in the Kukuta and Tripilian cultures of Eastern Europe, and they now live in modern-day Ukraine, Romania, and Moldova. But no one has an answer to why they behaved like that. Why did they burn down their houses? There are a few possible explanations. The first theory is that the burnings were accidental, and some say that it was flammable. They say it could have happened because of the materials, and some people think it could have been due to an invader attack. But the problem is that the burnings were very frequent, and these explanations do not match that frequency. And another thing is that no matter how many times the burnings happened, not a single person inside would have died. Everyone would have been safe outside. And if these burnings were not intentional but unintentional at a time when no one knew, then there is a chance that someone would have died, but that never happened in the case of these houses. So what do some other theories say? They say that these burnings are intentional, but they say that they are for different purposes. One theory says that by burning the houses like this, all their walls also become very strong because they are all clay walls, so they are burning them like this to make them water resistant. Some people say that they are burning houses like this for pest control, while others say that they are doing it because by doing this, all the insects and pests in those villages will completely go away from that area. However, the truth is that at the time of these burnings, whatever old materials were there, they were recycling them and creating some new space. So, whenever it happened, it could be a strengthening process or it could be a religious ceremony. Whatever it is, the concept of burning that house remains a very complicated question even now, and since it has been many years since it happened, it seems unlikely that we will get an answer to this question even in the future. Number 4. Where is the explorer, Roald Amundsen? A Norwegian, there is no doubt that the explorer is one of the greatest explorers in history. He became very famous when he reached the South Pole in 1911. He gained a lot of fame at that time through an expedition. However, he did not stop with such daring expeditions and continued. In 1926, he started his journey to the North Pole in an early airship. In that airship, there was an Italian aeronautical engineer, Umberto Nobile, and an American financier, Lincoln Ellsworth. However, after traveling some distance, the relationship between Amundsen and Nobel deteriorated. That is, there was a fight between the two of them. The fight was about who should take the leadership of the expedition because whoever was the leader would get more fame. So, if I am the leader, then I will be the leader. They quarreled and then the journey was stopped in the middle. However, in 1928, Amundsen knew that Nobel's airship Italia had sunk in the water. Basically, despite the quarrels between them, he started an Arctic exploration to save him. At that time, he took some French crew and took a Latham 47 float plane and set off to the area where he had sunk. They set off from an area called Tromsø, Norway for a rescue operation. However, the problem was that these crew members were not found. It is not known what happened to the aircraft. The amounts who went to find Nobel disappeared without a trace. Many people believe that he might have sunk in the Barents Sea, which means that their plane might have crashed there. But the exact location is not known and the reason for the accident is not known. The wreckage was not found, the bodies were not recovered, and many search efforts were made, but to no avail. It is not known where they were or what happened to them. The exact route of the plane is known. However, since it is not known where it sank, not a single one has been found. In 2009, a team sent an underwater robot to the area. They constantly searched the entire ocean floor, covering approximately 45 square miles, 1,165 square kilometers, but to no avail. So the mystery of Roald Amundsen's final flight remains an unsolved mystery. No one knows what happened to him, but only the water in that ocean can tell. Number 5. Where did the brothers go? Actually, a person named João Vich Corte-Real was a very famous explorer in the 15th century. He also explored the entire Portuguese crown territory. He became a very influential person by sailing and exploring. In fact, he had a very important position in the Azores Islands. He had 3 sons named Gaspar, Miguel, Vasco. He told all 3 of them to become explorers. At that time, everyone thought that this family would rewrite history. They thought that, together they would explore the entire universe and tell us many wonderful things. But they did not know that poverty would haunt them at that time. It was exactly in the year 1500 that Gaspar started his journey towards the North Atlantic. Basically, why he was doing this was because King Manuel I, the King of Portugal, told him to do it. So he reached Greenland. But the problem was that he could not land there because there was a lot of heavy ice there. So he came back again the next year. Gasper did the same thing again. He conducted the expedition, this time with 3 ships, but the ice blocked it again, so there was no other option. They went a little further from there and reached a different place. Some people say that the place they reached was Newfoundland, but the records are not very clear, so we don't know if that is true or not. However, once they reached there, they found native people there. Gasper captured 50 of them and brought them with them because they wanted to enslave them. But the problem was that they did not return to Portugal. The whole ship was washed away at sea. We do not know what happened. We do not know where they were washed away. Later, in 1502, Gasper's brother Miguel took action and launched a relief expedition. This time they also set out with 3 ships, and they also reached the same place where Gasper had first arrived, and there the 3 ships also split, one on one side, one on the other side. They decided to go and search in another direction, but after some time, the 3 also decided to come near a specific point. History repeated itself again. 2 ships arrived, but Miguel's ship was not found. It was washed away again. It is not known where he sank. But both of them died like that. So the 3rd brother went for a rescue mission again. This time he sent many ships. The king said that because the 2 brothers also sank, so the 3rd one would also sink, so why did he come? He sent 20 ships at once. But the poor thing is that this time too a storm came. As part of that storm, the ships were scattered. In which the ship in which the 3rd one, Vasco was traveling, sank in the water. That person died. In the same way, the 3 people also drowned in the water. They died. But how did they drown? Why did they drown? Where did they drown? Nothing is known. Why only these 3 drowned while the others around them did not drown is a big mystery. So even now this mystery remains an unsolved mystery. So guys, have you seen these 5 mysterious questions that history cannot answer? Let us know which of these you found the most mysterious in the comment section below. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.